Let's talk about the genre, this documentary found footage style. Why is this trend growing? What do you think?
I think there's a obsession with realism, an obsession with viral videos and the way we get our news that people are, and everyone's carrying a camera on them at all times now, and so it's relatable to more people. I didn't really think of the movie as a found footage movie as much as I thought of it as a fake documentary, which sounds like semantics, but really, to me, a found footage is like, oh, we discovered this tape and this is just what was on it. Whereas I was like, well, this is a documentary made by people who make documentaries for a living. It was like a horror Christopher Guest movie or something like that, more so than a found footage movie. But I think that just in general, we're so accustomed to I'm on the internet all day being barraged with viral videos and, oh, they got this on their phone and here's some news or here's an embedded journalist or world star hip hop or what. It just like never ends, And so I think it's something that we just unfortunately connect to now. And I think that at times it can be used well, but at other times it's not a particularly cinematic art form. So I think that's where people struggle with it. Is I think if it's done well, people really like it. If it's done too much, people get a little tired of it.
And Amy, what attracted you to this project in particular?
Well, I liked Ty's work to begin with, and I had collaborated with him and Joe and Kentucker and AJ on a bunch of movies, and Jade Healy too. Actually, the production designer
keeps going.
And Kate Shield. I mean,
Yeah.
it just keeps going. So we've all worked together a lot in the past, and so there's something I really enjoy working with the same people over and over, just because I think every time you sort of gain more trust with the other person and you can go deeper and have a shorthand as opposed to over-explaining everything. And also I'm obsessed with cults. I mean, it's
a big part of it.
Big part of it.
If this community never had, those outsiders, how do you think they would have lived? Do you think they would have kept going? Or?
I think it would have probably crumbled because I think there's an element of facade to it all. But I think that what's interesting about doing it in this documentary style and using these journalists is that the idea of embedded journalism is sort of like there are blurred lines that come with that, in that your role is supposed to be sort of objective and not part of it, but how do you not be? And particularly in something that's so small and insular like this, a new presence is going to set something off. And it's by no means their fault, but they are part of it all. And that's what always seemed interesting to me about a story like this, is that like everybody has some role in it, which is not blame, it's just like everybody's a part of it and you can't help that. And that's like, to me, that's complicated and that's interesting.
And my next question is for both of you. What do you think what is it about these communities that draws humans? What is it about it?
I think that a lot of people are unhappy. I think that, it's a lot of people are living in lifestyles that they're not comfortable living, whether it's poverty or whether it's oppression or whether it's sort of feeling like an outcast or racism. There's just something that you don't feel like you're living life to the fullest. And when someone comes along and confidently proclaims that they know what life's really about and they can offer that to you. And I think people think, well, I'll try that. And, you start off trying it and it helps a little bit and you take one step forward and all of a sudden you find yourself in something you can't get out of. But you don't just sign up to be in a cult. You're attempting to make your life better and join part of a community. And then one day you look up and realize, oh no, like I'm so deep in, I can't get out. But I think really it's desperation, is that a manipulative person preys off that. And I think that's very sad and very scary.
I mean, aside from desperation and all that, I mean, it's a beautiful idea to seek salvation in something that's outside of yourself and to give up trust in, what you do. I mean, it's scary to think that you have all the control. It's a really beautiful idea to think that there's something bigger that unites us all. And I also think that there is a community aspect to church and sort of belief systems and what brings people together. And I think that there's like power in numbers. I mean, it's sort of a fact. There's power in numbers. And so there's a support group that people, once they start going and they believe in something, they have a whole support network of people that believe the same things and help them through whatever desperation that they're going through.
When you talk about church, I guess one can say, you can make a comparison to religion because there's a lot of faith. It's faith without seeing. And is this concept dangerous? Is it hopeful?
Depends on the way people treat it. I mean, I think that religion can be incredibly beneficial to a lot of people and incredibly detrimental to a lot of people. I think that its context is a big part of it. And, I think staying grounded. And I think when you become part of a group that is so removed from the rest of anyone that's not like you, it's very hard to stay grounded and it's very hard to keep that context in mind. And I think that's where bad things tend to happen.